Small business owner? Entrepreneur? Want to learn how online marketing can improve your business?
Your questions.
Our advice.
This is Not a Real Job.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 77 of Not a Real Job, the comedy/business/life advice podcast that sort of helps you be better you. I am Chris Van Patten, and I make websites currently in New York.
And I'm Joe Kelly, and I do marketing stuff up in Canada.
But not always in Canada. You've been traveling.
Correct. I got back from Las Vegas yesterday afternoon. And tomorrow night, I head to London for a couple days. And then Friday, I head to South Carolina.
So, London, you mean London, Ontario?
I
correct?
mean London, England.
I'm not familiar. Can you tell me more?
Are you aware of the film Braveheart?
Yes, vaguely.
Okay. Are you aware of the film Passion of the Christ?
I am.
So, same director. It was a little film about a little scuffle that they had way over yonder across the Atlantic, and kind of the people who, I'm not going to say instigated the scuffle, but who may have been responsible for the necessity of that little scuffle. They were based in a little town, a little shire, called London.
I don't think you know what the word shire means.
It's where hobbits live.
You just proved me wrong.
Yeah, hobbits come from England.
That is true.
See?
You are not incorrect.
I know everything. All that glitters is gold. That's a little quote from C.S. Lewis, creator of Lord of the Rings.
So how was, obviously you can only tell us so much because what happens there stays there, but Vegas, how was it?
It was good. It was significantly warmer than Canada. Gets cold at night, though, in winter because desert.
Sure. Which you probably liked.
Yeah, I didn't mind it really at all. I was, as you can imagine, when I had my coffee outside at 7 a.m, when it was really only like 42 degrees out, I was the only one on the patio.
For you, is sort of a warm summer's day up there.
I kept using the word balmy. Which is a weird word, but anyway, yeah, it was nice. We stayed downtown, so not on the Strip, but downtown Las Vegas, which has a really cool history.
So, you stayed with Zappos, basically.
I stayed, actually, yeah, if I could throw a stone, like if I was a sports person, I probably could have hucked a rock right through the Zappos windows.
And they probably would have given you a pair of shoes for it.
Pair of shoes,
just
they have
so
prizes.
Nice.
Yeah. They're always just giving away shoes. That's the crazy thing about downtown Las Vegas. It's just everyone's wearing shoes there.
Now, is downtown Las Vegas at all related to Downton Abbey?
Yes, in that's where they film. That's where the mansion is. But interestingly enough, Maggie Smith, star of Downton Abbey, she doesn't film on the set. All her scenes green screened.
Huh.
Yep.
Wow.
And mostly she died about 20 years ago, so they kind of Free Willy 2'd it in that it's all just clever editing to kind of stitch together new scenes with her.
I didn't know she was in Free Willy 2.
No, but Free Willy 2 was made up of other shots because I'm pretty sure that Free Willy died. Yeah.
Well,
Blackfish.
There you go.
All
exciting.
came full circle. Maggie Smith was the first person to hunt and trap and keep in captivity orcas.
That explains a lot.
It really doesn't.
It explains actually nothing.
More questions than it answers.
Oh, well. Fun.
Yeah. All that to say, I had a great time. Amazing client there. Super hip to our ideas and to the process that we want to kind of start up with them. And it was great to get a sense of the space. And we visited the Mob Museum, which is in an old post office from like the 1930s. right in downtown. It actually contains the courtroom where they had, like, you know, important trials about organized crime in Vegas, and it might be the best museum I've ever been through. The production values of this museum were incredible.
Well, they've got a lot of money to spend.
I guess so. But yeah, it was fantastic. So if you're ever in Vegas, go to the Mom Museum. It is terrific.
There you go. Mm-hmm. I'll have to check it out.
And spend some time downtown. It's definitely up and coming. Not all of Vegas is contained on the Las Vegas Strip. Get out, see a bit of the sights.
Explore the town.
Great farmers market as well downtown. I got some vegan tamales.
How do they do farming in the... Well, that's another rabbit hole.
It's all flown in from London, actually.
Oh, London, yep. England.
Yeah. Downton
Excellent. There you go. Cool. Speaking of travel, I've got a little news to share.
Ooh.
In less than a month now, I will be going to Barcelona.
What?
The one in Spain.
Did you finally get picked up on a soccer team?
I did, yeah. I'm replacing Lionel Messi on FC Barcelona. It's going to be
you're
a
the
grand
new
old
keeper.
Nope. That's
Seeker?
Wrong sport. That's okay. We'll get through this.
Quidditchman.
Yes, I am the new Quidditchman for FC Barcelona. No, it's a fun opportunity. I'm going to be gone for at least a month, possibly 2.
How? Why? What? What's going on?
Just sharing an apartment with a couple of other business entrepreneurial sorts of types, and yeah, it all came together very quickly. And I'll be leaving in mid to late February, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Now, where did you meet these people? Do you know their parents? I'm worried now.
I don't know their parents, but it's all on the up and up. It's through a forum that I'm a part of. So
it's no one who's ever met on a forum has not been a serial killer.
Didn't we meet on a forum?
We did, and I'm a serial killer, Christopher.
Case and point.
Wow, well, that's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So exciting. So, what's happening with your apartment in wherever it is that you live currently?
I will be subleasing it.
What does that mean?
Subletting it. It means somebody's going to pay to stay here
in a used apartment.
I know. I mean, it's hard to believe that there are people out there who would, but there are people who will. So,
do people get to sleep in your bed?
They certainly do.
Ooh.
I think that's part of the charm, actually.
I think it is. Chris has had a butt disease in that bed.
We don't tell that. We don't put that in the Craigslist.
That's not in the Kijiji listing?
I don't know what that word is.
You don't have Kijiji?
I certainly don't think so.
It's Canadian Craigslist.
See, we've got Craigslist, so...
We have Craigslist, too, but...
but there's, like, the weird government rule where 30% has to be Canadian or whatever. Is that what it is?
Yeah, every third listing on Craigslist actually has to be Canadian. It's just like our radio. It's pretty complicated. So plus Craig Newmark turns out serial killer.
Huh.
Yep.
That explains a lot. You know, it's interesting that Canada has this rule about, you know, a certain amount of content has to be Canadian. We don't have that here because all of our content is American. So, yeah.
Ever hear of a little show called Degrassi?
No.
Yeah.
I don't watch it because
Red
it's
Green.
unpatriotic.
You love Red Green.
I wouldn't say I love Red Green, but I am certainly familiar with the Possum Lodge and all its accoutrements.
It's your favorite thing in the world.
No, my Canadian jam is Slings and Arrows. Excellent show.
Is
Everyone
Canadian bacon jam.
I don't know what that is.
You don't have bacon jam down there?
We have bacon and we have jam.
You can combine those two.
I don't think I like that idea.
Well,
I'm not a fan.
You wouldn't make it a day up here.
That's true. Well, we don't have anything to talk about this week.
We've been talking for like 9.5 minutes. We have plenty to talk about.
Sure. I mean, that's sort of the fun of this podcast now is you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's definitely we've turned a corner, I'd say. And it's gotten to a place of increasing desperation and despair, but I think that's okay.
I would say it's increasing comfort
We're in our zone.
We're in the zone.
Let me into my zone.
Sure.
I think that's a song lyric.
I don't know what music is, so.
What music do you listen to, Chris? Just like Beach Boys?
I do listen to the Beach Boys. I will say that Pet Sounds is one of the greatest albums ever recorded in all of human history, and if you think that's wrong, then sorry. I know you listen to Conor Oberst.
Yeah, effectively, exclusively.
So you did launch this new podcast.
I launched it and then I unlaunched it.
What does that mean? Tell us more.
The first episode sucked hard. And I launched it in a moment of productivity. I was like, this is easy. Look, I just launched a podcast in like 8 seconds. And then I thought better of it because it was just brutally bad. So
why? What was bad about it?
Me. I didn't like the words that I said. I didn't like how I approached the topic. So yeah, basically I need to rethink the whole thing. But I have the pieces are in place, okay. I guess. I feel like I'm happy with the name. I've got some cover art. I know how to get it set up on the Squarespace. But I did listen to part of the first episode. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I will say that you sounded very sad.
I was pretty tired.
That explains it.
Yeah.
It was also a sad song.
Oh, so. It's absolutely a sad song. But yeah, I want to make it more of something where it's more of a discovery instead of me kind of preaching. Mm-hmm. I feel like it was a little too earnest, and I need to kind of back up a bit and let the music and the song tell the story, and it not just be about my appreciation for it. I don't think that's near as interesting as I wish it were. I just
no one really cares.
No one wants to hear what I have to say. We know that. No, it's fine. Basically the pieces are in place. I just need to re-record episode 1 and click the big launch button. I've actually got a big red button on my desk here, and if I hit that, it will launch episode 2 as soon as it's done.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Happy to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing. It was super easy to do, though. I mean, Squarespace has all the pieces in place. There were some issues with I was having some issue with the feed. Right, yeah, that's the thing. The title of the podcast is wrong in iTunes because Squarespace won't let me assign a new title to it. But I think I can get around that. But yeah,
interesting. Yeah. That's something I wouldn't have thought about. Certainly, the way iTunes feeds work is weird, but that's another highly technical and highly boring topic. So I won't dive into that too much.
All I can say, if you're doing a podcast and you're hosting it on Squarespace, the feed that Squarespace produces will be titled whatever you've named your blog, and there's no way to change that. So you can't have a podcast with a different name be hosted on your current Squarespace blog.
Seems like a limitation.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, and I have absolutely no idea why. I mean, Squarespace has been doing this whole hosting, make a podcast. It's one button to produce an iTunes feed. They obviously want people to be hosting their podcasts, I assume. So why they wouldn't allow you to kind of force the name change is extremely confusing.
Sounds like something that you should email them about.
There are a ton. If you Google this problem, there is.
So they're probably aware of the situation.
Yeah, it's a known issue, and I guess they just don't care.
Sure.
Squarespace, which brings us to our first sponsor, Christopher. Squarespace. Start here, go anywhere except to a new iTunes name.
Yeah.
Well, we just fucked ourselves. Squarespace was going to be our only sponsor.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can just write that off immediately. So, well,
who's left? Stamps.com. Need to mail something for some reason?
Don't give them free advertising.
Stamps.com.
No. Now we'll have to send them an invoice.
Start at Stamps.com. Mail anywhere.
Good gravy.
Go Daddy.
Gravy. No. No.
GoDaddy, wanna be part of the patriarchy and oppress women? GoDaddy.com.
Do you want to kill some wild animals?
Have you ever wanted to watch an elephant die? Founder of GoDaddy did, so he shot one. Anyway,
GoDaddy.
GoDaddy, start here. GoDaddy anywhere.
Oh God. I mean, even just the name of the company is skin crawling.
GoDaddy. Oh.
Oh, you just made it worse.
Oh, daddy. This episode was brought to you by Gamergate. Ugh, women, am I right?
Ugh, just the worst. Wow.
Well, let's
just
just
took a
sit
turn.
back and wait for the checks to roll in.
Wait for the sponsorship revenue.
Oh, man. Speaking of sponsorship, if you would like to sponsor the show, I guess just mail us a check and just include on the memo line what you want us to say.
But you have to be able to fit it on the memo line, and no going over the edge or anything. I know all the tricks.
Let me give you a few possible things you could write on the memo line. Squarespace. Start here, go anywhere. Stamps.com. Start here, mail anywhere.
I really don't like all the advertising plugs that we're giving out for free.
Okay, well, then, let me flip it.
Mm-hmm.
Use WordPress instead of Squarespace. Use Hover instead of GoDaddy, and don't mail anything because it's the future.
There you go.
Flipped it.
Boom.
Wait,
Done.
did we just promote WordPress and Hover then?
Well, WordPress I'll allow because it's free. Hover, yeah, you done goofed.
Okay, don't use the internet.
There we go.
Whew.
I think that's really the best advice that we can give after 77 episodes. I think that really sort of
I guess.
sums
Yeah,
up.
the internet's good for one thing and one thing only, and we all know what it is.
Yes, for buying things on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well,
We dodged a bullet there.
whew. Yeah, so there we go. We're 17 minutes into
I
this.
think we crushed it.
Definitely our best episode yet.
Oh man, did I tell you about this? It's gonna be my gear pick, so let's
Yeah, why don't we dive into... I can talk about gear for hours
Oh,
today.
awesome. Okay, you do the intro music for the gear section.
Gear pick time. So this is the part of the show.
Richard Gere.
Oh.
Am I right?
Disgusting. So we like to
Disgustingly
talk about
sexy.
products because we both buy lots of stuff on Amazon, and so this is the part of the show where we talk about those products. And if you go to the show notes at notarealjob.com, or the whole store is notarealjob.com/gear, you can buy the stuff that we recommend. And if you buy that stuff through our links in either of those places, we get a little bit of a cut, which is very nice, and it helps us make the show even better. I'm looking here. We've got like 6 pages of picks right now in our little Amazon store here. So
Picks as in PICKS, not 6
Yes.
pages of sexy pics.
Well, I mean, we've got those too, but we haven't shared the URL, so...
It's
yeah.
notarealjob.com/pics, but it's just PICS.
Sure. So yeah, what are you putting in this week?
I'm putting in the Vizio 50-inch 1080p 120 hertz LED smart TV.
Oh, wow.
It's not, like, let's face it, it's not the greatest TV that's ever been made. But you know what it is, Chris?
What?
Under $600.
Interesting. Now,
Yeah.
$600 in which currency?
Both of them.
Both of them. Sweet.
Both of the 2 world currencies.
United States dollars and the British pound.
And the Canadian beaver nickel.
The Canadian loonie. That is what it's called.
No, we
correct?
call them beaver nickels.
I thought they were different amounts.
Nope. They're all just
They're just all beaver nickels.
beaver nickels.
It's the $1 beaver nickel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. So tell me more about this television.
Man, it's confusing up here. It's like a different world
It really is.
up in Canada.
America's hat.
Canada. Anyway, that's a little line from a part of our heritage commercial that no American has absolutely. You know what? Here's what you need to do, Americans. I'm going to give you a task right now.
Mm-hmm.
Pause this episode. Not yet, because you need to hear the rest of what I'm about to say. But you're going to go to YouTube, a little website called youtube.ca. And you're going to type in a part of our heritage. Heritage. And you're just going to go through and watch all these fucking amazing things. On our Canadian TV channel, the one we have up here, there's these ads that have run for the last million years that are all just little snippets of Canadian history. And if you grew up in Canada, you know literally all of them off by heart. So do that. It's incredible.
That's so quaint.
What's that?
That's so quaint.
Yeah, I recommend the Superman one. The one that I just quoted is a part of our heritage, and it's just called Canada. It talks a bit about how British settlers didn't know what the Aboriginal people meant by the word Canada. There's the Avro Arrow is a pretty good one. The one about the school system, and she's like, "Oh, your son read this. It's quite a difficult passage. It's from the Bible." And then the other person's like, "Oh, why don't you just read it, sir?" And he says, "Both of you know I cannot read a word." Oh man, there's so many good ones. The one about the Halifax explosion is like, whew, that's a big one.
I like this. Somebody has made one of these. It's a part of our heritage. Rob Ford. I think that's funny.
That's topical.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Yeah. So anyway,
here's a Degrassi.
I'm gonna
part of our heritage.
I'm gonna put a few things in the show notes. I'm gonna link to. Oh right, there's a new heritage commercial. There's actually there's a few new ones. Actually, starting a friend of mine, Jared Kiso. So that's kind of neat.
Fun.
Yeah. Actually, you know the friend of a friend. Remember Sylvia?
Yeah.
My friend? Yeah. One of her best friends is Jared Kiso. He's in this heritage commercial. He played Don Cherry in the made-for-TV miniseries about Don Cherry. So
I don't know who Don Cherry is.
Well, you just failed again, Chris.
See, you keep saying these Canadian things, and you forget that they're like not real.
They're not real in the real world. But you've been to Canada.
It's like a fantasy land. It's like Narnia.
Yeah, but you've got the stink of maple syrup on you. That's what we say about people who.
I do love good maple syrup.
Fraternized with Canadians for a little too long.
You can eat maple syrup, right?
I mean, I can eat anything.
Do you
conceivably?
I
can eat a light bulb once. Maple syrup often has butter in it, but you know what? Fuck it.
Sure.
That's my butt's problem, not my mouth's problem.
And that's where we jump the shark.
All right. So anyway, all this to say, Vizio, 50-inch, 1080p, 120 hertz smart TV. It's pretty good TV. Got a bunch of HDMI hookups on the back, and it's 50 inches big, and it'll show moving pictures.
It'll show a part of our heritage commercials.
Over and over and over and over again. Forever. Until you die.
There you go.
What's your gear pick?
My gear pick. That is an excellent question. I have to share with you all the Neweer 180-degree fisheye lens plus wide-angle lens plus macro lens 3-in-1 kit for iPhone 5.
Whoa, okay. Back up a bit here. You've got a fish's eye?
I do.
That's creepy.
Went out there. Oh,
wait, we just pasted in the wrong place. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Coke and everything.
Oh, no. Chris and I just posted our links in the same place. It's all falling apart.
There we go.
Oh,
that was close. Near catastrophe. So this is a little plastic and metal assembly thing, and it snaps onto the top of your iPhone, and it gives you 3 different lens options. So you can do like a really cool fisheye effect, you can do a wide angle effect, or you can get really close with a macro. Actually posted a picture on Instagram earlier that I used this for, so we'll put that in the notes so you can see.
You took a photograph of your keyboard.
I took one of my keyboard. I took one of my view from my window. It's really cool. It's a neat little thing, and what I like about it is that it's less than $8. So there are really fancy ones that are like upwards of $60 or $70, and I'm sure the quality of the lenses is probably a little bit better. Like this one around the edges gets a little bit blurry, but for the price, like you you can't beat it. Yeah, so I definitely check it out. It's less than $8. It's really cool. And I want to share one other thing, just because I've got like a lot of gear picks coming in over the next couple weeks, because I'm buying a lot of travel equipment. But my second pick is the Kickerland Universal Travel Adapter. And it's basically a travel adapter. You know, you can get power in any other country using your standard US plugs. But what I like about it is that
Will it work in Canadian plugs?
It will work in Canadian plugs too, everywhere. But I like it because it's compact. Like a lot of those travel adapters tend to be very bulky and like big bricks. This one's folds kind of very flat. It's like less than half an inch.
Sorry, did you say big ricks?
Bricks.
Oh, I was like, what is big ricks? Is that like?
Oh, that's a whole other story.
Yeah,
let's not go there.
Is that a drinking establishment?
I'm sure it is.
Go get some Motors Boat.
Motors Boat at Big Rick's. Big's Rick.
So I went to Caesar's Palace when I was in Vegas, and the most frustrating thing is that like I wanted to say I've been to lots of Caesar's Palace, but no one understood it.
No one got it.
But I did say when in Rome a lot.
And I'm sure everyone hated you.
Everyone laughed and laughed and laughed.
Oh boy. Well, there you have it. There is episode 77. Clearly our pinnacle, our finest episode. It will get no better. You could probably stop listening now.
We have to right after this. We have to record an intro for kind of one of the classic episodes. And I'm thinking, why don't we just record that for this one and do back to back episode 77s?
That is what the people demand. They really want more of this episode. So
more of this, less of that.
Maybe we'll do that.
Maybe we'll do that.
Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. You'll have to tune in next week to find out.
Tune in next week. Same bat time. Same bat channel. Costs you 8 beaver nickels.
There you go. Well, I guess we'll use that as an opportunity to end this disaster. Thank you for listening. As always, we really appreciate it. If you, for some reason, really liked this, you can go to iTunes and rate us. We love it. notarealjob.com/iTunes is the place to be. We got a couple of stars this week, a couple of 5-star ratings. Nice. So that's awesome. Thank you. You can also, if you are so inclined, you can leave text comments and tell people why you're giving us 5 stars. That's always fun as well. We are on Twitter, twitter.com/nargcast, youtube.com/nargcast, facebook.com/notarealjob, stitcher.com/something, put it into Google. Of course, we've got all those links to Stitcher 2, our Amazon store, and all the other good stuff over at notarealjob.com. There we go.
Well, bye, everybody.
Bye.